Well, welcome back to Not So Mid-Major, where we are still continuing on with our journey throughout the entire NHL draft order this year for NHL 2023 draft picks. And we are going to be talking about every single team between now until NHL draft day, discussing what are their draft picks for this year and what were the trades that were made along the way. How did they gain picks and how did they lose them? If you always like these videos, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Again, I'm still surprised that you guys want to be watching these videos, so I thank you guys so much for tuning into these videos. But we have another, probably short one with this one, the Minnesota Wild. And now, why do I think this is going to be a short one? Well, Minnesota Wild only really had 3 trades along the way, so what are their draft picks for this year? Well, Minnesota Wild have their own first and second round. They traded away their third and fourth round picks, and then they retained their fifth, sixth, seventh round picks. But they did gain a Vegas Golden Knights second round pick along the way. So then now let's just go round by round. What did the Minnesota Wild trade away? What did they receive in return? Well, that second round to gain a Vegas Golden Knights second round pick, it was actually a trade made with the Buffalo Sabres back on March 3rd of 2023, where the Sabres received Jordan Greenway and the Minnesota Wild receiving a 2023 Golden Knights second round pick and a Buffalo Sabres 2024 fifth round pick. And to touch base on that Golden Knights pick that the Minnesota Wild is actually having this year, it was actually a part of a trade deal involving Jack Eichel back on July 4th of 2021. So then now what did the Buffalo Sabres receive? Jordan Greenway. He was drafted in the second round in 2015 by the Minnesota Wild. He played 6 years with the Minnesota Wild, 317 games, 38 goals, 81 assists for 119 points, 478 hits. With the Buffalo Sabres, just 17 games, 4 goals, and 28 hits. And the thing that's going to make this video pretty quick is a lot of these trades only involve 2, maybe 3 pieces at the most. But let's go on to the third round, in which there was a trade with the Anaheim Ducks back on March 19th of 2022, in which the Anaheim Ducks received Minnesota Wild's third round pick for this year's 2023 draft, and the Minnesota Wild receiving Nicolas Deslauriers. So again, we're just going to talk about one piece with this. Nicolas Deslauriers. He was drafted in the third round by the LA Kings back in 2009, after the Kings went to the Sabres and then to the Canadiens and then to the Anaheim Ducks, where he played 3 years, 169 games, 17 goals, 16 assists, but had 235 penalty minutes. Then in this trade, he went to the Minnesota Wild for this just 1 year, 20 games, 3 goals, but 23 penalty minutes. After the Minnesota Wild went on to the Flyers, where he did a free agency signing for 4 years. Currently with the Flyers, 80 games, 12 points, 136 penalty minutes. So let's just go into the fourth round. Let's just make this as quick as possible. There was a trade made with the Detroit Red Wings back on March 3rd of 2003, in which the Detroit Red Wings received Minnesota Wild's fourth round 2023 pick, Minnesota Wild receiving Oskar Sundqvist. Actually, a little bit of interesting history with Oskar Sundqvist. Drafted in the third round by the Pittsburgh Penguins back in 2012. He was actually part of a trade involving Ryan Reeves to the St. Louis Blues. With the Penguins, played 28 games, 1 goal, 3 assists. With the St. Louis Blues, 242 games, 35 goals, and 48 assists. He was then involved in a trade to the Detroit Red Wings. With the Red Wings, played 70 games, 11 goals, 18 assists. And with the Minnesota Wild, 15 games, 3 goals, 4 assists. So let's just make this a quick and short video. That's where we're going to end it. What do you think about the Minnesota Wild this year? Do you think that they're going to have enough pieces to keep building, because they have been making the playoffs consistently these last 4 years? Are they going to make that step onto the second round? So hopefully they get some really good picks this year. And if you haven't already, please hit like, please hit subscribe as well. Like I said, we're going to be posting a video every day between now until NHL Draft Day, which is actually going to come up pretty fast, pretty soon. So please stay tuned. If your team has not been discussed already, I will be discussing them soon. But if you have already, think that we discussed your team, so go watch those videos in the past. And until next time, please always stay safe and please stay healthy.